Oh, guys, what's going on? Good morning good morning, basically. Hopefully you're having a strong start to your morning. I know I am, and I'm very excited for the next hour to start smashing bets. We have so much going on a Saturday. We have, obviously, college football, college hoops, NBA, NHL. There's a lot to get into. We also have, obviously NFL tomorrow. So just some of the best times of the year. We also have UFC fights happening a little bit later. So just such a great time to start betting on sports. We're going to go and start with a lot of DFS. Then we're going to hop into looking at some arbitrage, some positive EV. So let's just dive right in. I already have the Sharp Money tool pulled up here to look at some DFS plays for better, PrizePicks, Dabble. Ron, how are you, my friend? Let's see. What do we got cooking? So at the moment, not a ton of liquidity out here. I have all the leagues selected. So I'm not like super thrilled with how this is looking in terms of liquidity. But for this Ben Shepherd play over here on Better, we have a lot of better discounts. Looks like we have an SGA discount over 27.5 points. We could take Ben Shepherd and pair this with under 9.5 points. Some people want this for lower liquidity at like a minus 132. You can see though the Pinnacle's at minus 172. And FanDuel hasn't even offered odds yet, right? So I'm definitely in on this. I'm going to grab this Shepherd play at under 9.5. As you guys are filtering in, we're already seeing some value with Better, so we're going to go ahead and cook this up. Hopefully you guys tailed the discounted slip yesterday, those that are Better users, because we cashed that one, which was awesome. And then Santi Aldama. Bookmakers at minus 138. Pinnacle's at minus 125. This is a slight discount. It's not fantastic. It's just kind of okay. And then Lonzo, let's look at Lonzo. Minus 121. FanDuel's minus 128. Yeah, these are just fine. They're not ideal. Let me go over to the optimizer. Let me take a quick little peek over at Better to see if there's anything else that maybe aligns a little bit with what we have going on. What's going on, Anton? Ron said, made $500 the past 2 days, each mainly on live props or EV. My best 2 days yet. Great to hear that, Ron. And you will see continued success staying that course. It's very, very profitable going after that. All right, we're going to go with Herbs. This is going to be a kind of a delayed slip. It's not going to be just all for today, but I do like this Herbert play. Under 35.5 passing attempts. Again, I can only bet $10 here on this max entry for the discount, but it's quite good. I'll share the link with you guys here. All right, there we go. There's our first slip of the day, courtesy of Better. MP, good morning to you. Irish, what's going on? 5 straight white. Yeah, it's obviously tailing my stuff, and if you're tailing other stuff, it hasn't been the best. Even though I had a green day yesterday, guys, it was a losing day on Dub Club. And yeah, it's wearing me out. Wearing me out as well. Want to get back in the green today. So those picks will be coming out a little bit later. We have just so many sports going on today. There's going to be a lot of opportunities. So get this back on the right track. So we're hit on this Herbert play. That's the discounted SGA play for what we have going on over there. Let's see what else we got. We got obviously HM. We got McBride. We got a lot with Gibbs. A couple different discounts. Let's go back over to the Sharp Money tool. Let's see what we have. There you go, Ron. Just cooked the next bet. Going to be USR now. All right, so we're looking over here. We had some better. Let's refresh the page. Let's see what we have. PrizePicks for ball. Okay, it's all right. Nothing that's super ideal. We got the pick 6 we could play with Santee, but again, the Santee play is just kind of mid. You can't say I love any of this. I can't say like I'm really like loving this. Let's go over to the low holds tool. See if we can find something over there. That's just one, but that's interesting. Let's go to the 5 and 6 picks. Okay. So someone for player rushing yards has this over on Jordan Marshall. Obviously, if you could bet collegiate props, I can't in Arizona, but if you can, That's a lot of money for just a collegiate prop over on Profit X. That would be something I'm interested in. The over on Edwards, points and assists. I always love betting overs on Anthony Edwards. Guy can just do it himself just on points. So let me go ahead and grab this. Let's go NBA. All right, we're going to take the over there. And we could open this up to look and see what FanDuel has, but FanDuel doesn't have anything yet. Hartenstein on his points. This is minus 108. Oh, sorry, minus 122, minus 124. Yeah, it's okay. It's not like ideal. What about Kopitar? No Pinnacle odds yet. I'd like to see that for Pinnacle. Siakam on assists. This is a little bit better. The under 4.5. Is this even available? No. Yeah, it's not even available. So that's fantastic. Pirtle on his points and rebounds. Don't have anything there. Let's refresh this and see. Ja under on his threes. Yes, I like Ja under on his threes a little bit more. Guys just playing with like no passion at all. So Edwards over on his points. Ja under on threes. And then obviously if you want to grab this Marshall play, if you can play collegiate player props, I'm totally fine with that. What else do I got here? Cole Caulfield, it's okay. It's not great compared to Pinnacle. I really like to use Pinnacle as my sharp when it comes to this. Shots on goal, plays for Montreal. Yeah, let me go back over the sharp money tool. Can I find anything else that I can be a little bit more excited about? We got two. We just need one more. And the survey says not. What about Julius Randle? Yeah, Julius Randle's. That's a little better, but I don't like that because it might go. They might be negative. It might be a correlate. It might be a nerf payout because of that. With Anthony Edwards, we take the over, and looking at the Randle under. So I kind of want to stay away from that one as well. Let's look at PrizePicks on the optimizer. Really fighting, scrapping tooth and nail for me, guys. Again, there might be some plays out there that you guys might like a little bit more, but just when I'm seeing Shepard and Ingram, combo threes haven't had the best success with thus far, but that could be something that we go after. Okay, so we'll grab, if they let me do this, Shepard and Ingram under on threes. It does look very good to Pinnacle. There it is. Bingo. All right, so let's try this. No insurance on this, guys. Let me throw this over your way. I think we can get this in. Bingo. There we go. Okay. I'll share this link with you guys. Took a minute. I do apologize for that one. Thanks, Dan. Appreciate that. Rick, what's going on? Pick six, Luis. Yeah, we're going to be getting over to pick six here in just a moment. Dan, yeah, we're going to be looking at some UFC for sure. But there we go. All right, let's take a look, and we're on pick six. Sharp Money Tool's not showing guys a ton at the moment. I'm not going to lie here. We already went through better. PrizePicks, there's not a lot. Looking at Underdog or DraftKings pick six. So the Santi play, somebody wants this only for $500. This is just too low a liquidity here for me to go after these plays. Even on Lonzo, it's just a little low. Low holds market. Let's go look at DraftKings pick six. 3 picks. We want 3 picks. There we go. So Nembhard on his points. Yeah, this looks to be a discount here if we take Nembhard under on points. So let me log into pick six and see what we have going on. So we're going to take Nembhard under 19.5. Significant strikes. I don't have any bet online odds, so I'm not really confident there. So the only thing I can glean from this is that we definitely want to take Nembhard under 19.5 points. So I'm in on that one. All right, let's just drop over here. And we'll also obviously pull up some Dabble. I had Dabble pulled up on the Sharp Money tool, but didn't see a ton that I liked. You could take his under on assist if you wanted to. But we'll grab this. Donovan Mitchell under P points and rebounds. Hate betting unders on Mitchell, but it looks decent. But again, I'm trying to stay away from high variance players. Something that I've definitely haven't thought of in the past that I need to really make me think about a little bit is some high variance guys. Yeah, looks like they're not letting us bet the under on Nembhard. What a surprise. It's now 18.5 because it bumped. How about the assist? Is that still there? No, they bumped that too. Dude, what a shiesty book, bro. Kidding me? Jaren Jackson under on his points and rebounds. I can get down with this play. If it doesn't bump. Because it all bumps. There we go, 24.5, like that. So there's one. Jared Allen over points and rebounds. This would be the opposite, but it's a little bit too low. So I could get down with that. Over 22.5. Great. And then what else do we have? Jared Allen over. Jaren Jackson under. Both in the points and rebounds category. Spida is it's a decent play. It's not bad, but we already took one guy on one team, so I like to go after a completely different game. The under on Jakob Poeltl. The under 20.5. So this is all points and rebounds. Okay, there we go. So we got some overs, we got some unders on some big men. It's a big men kind of day today in the NBA. You got the boosted. Yeah, you got the boost as well. Appreciate you mentioning that, Irish. So the boost, yes. So 4 picks or less. I don't play boosts, guys, but you can. You could do it for the NBA for live or for right now. The biggest reason why, guys, is because 4-man slips with no insurance are minus 177 odds. So even with a 30% profit boost, I'm guessing at this point because I'm not going to go through the math on the stream. I need to go through the math, but I don't even know if the boost would make the slip EV because they're making you take 4 picks. So obviously, if you want to take the boost, guys, I would just say have fun with it. It's $10. At least for me, it's $10. Just have fun with it and bet whatever you like because it's going to be a negative EV slip, in my opinion. Got to work through the math to see exactly, and I'll go through that before tomorrow's stream, but it's pretty bad. So it's not a high enough boost to actually make it plus EV. Yeah, Irish, like I said, 4-pick live boost. If for me, I'm seeing 4 picks for both. And the 4 picks are just dog shit for price. So it's not a high enough boost. If it was like a 100% boost, then I'm intrigued. Maybe 50% boost, we could get away with some EV edge. I just don't think 30% is going to be enough to overcome the fact that we're getting this at minus 177 paid out per slip. So just have some fun with that one for sure. Let's head over to the arbitrage tool and let's see if we can make any risk-free money. Obviously, we have this is one of those days, guys. There's just so much going on. It's a great day to focus on just bets for today, to reinvest your money, and see kind of what's going on. All right, for those of you that have a 3-pick, let's go and look at that quickly. So if you guys do have a 3-pick, and I might be looking at this wrong, but here, and it could just depend on where you're at. Mine's saying boost your 4-pick NBA entries. This is 4-pick. So, but let me go over and check it out. Let's take a look. So if you were to rock a 3-pick slip, you could rock that slip that I just shared with you guys and do that. Because that's an all NBA. Yeah, man, no problem about that. No problem. No problem, Irish. But if you guys do have that 3-pick, I would use your boost on that one. No doubt about that, right? So, and take a look at that. For underdog, at the moment, on the sharp money tool, I didn't see enough money on the sharp money tool to get really excited about certain plays. Again, looking at 3-mans at the moment. There's no FanDuel, there's no Pinnacle. For NBA, obviously, guys, I don't bet college props. I don't bet college football or college basketball props. I did last year, and I told myself I'd never do it again. Just because the liquidity is so low, it's so difficult. If you watch a team a lot and you know that team, you know the players, you know the tendencies, you know the schemes, you know the opponent well, then obviously there's definitely edges that you can make betting on college props. But just using this board and betting it, I would say best of luck to you, because I don't really think you can find consistency betting college props. It's hard enough hitting on NBA players, let alone trying to go after some collegiate players. So Nemhard, over on points and rebounds. This is great. It's 21.5 on FanDuel. It's 20.5 here. That's a discount. I like that. I'm not really RJ Barrett, it's tough to say because Pinnacle's at 28.5 at -104. We can get this to the under 30.5. Okay, but it's just a too wide of an opinion right now for RJ Barrett that I can't really get behind it. What else? There isn't much on underdog that really gets me all that excited. And Andrew, I did see your question, man, and I appreciate you bringing that up. If we have time, man. Again, that's where if you're being a channel member, I'd go to it right now, but I want to make sure I get through some arbitrage and positive EV. And because we're about almost 20 minutes in the stream going over DFS, I kind of want to keep it moving outside of DFS right now. But I did see your question, man, and I appreciate that. Let's see what else we got. All right, so arbitrage, day trade the books. If you see this little middle symbol here, guys, that means that you can possibly cash one bet or cash both bets with a middle opportunity. So you bet $100 on the over, $70 on the under. You're in for $170. You're going to make $5 or $13 no matter what happens. But if this basketball game lands exactly on 149 points, you get your $100 refunded to you. You cash the $70 wager. It's literally no risk. It's great. So if anyone still has thrills, curious to find out in a poll. Yeah, Ergo, sometimes it might be on your state. Sometimes it might be on, I don't know. I don't know if it depends on like how much money you've made off them or not. You know, because if they're still sending boosts to Alex, then like obviously, then everyone just has it. Depends on where you're at. What's going on, Ken? All right, so I'm interested to know. Just curious on thrills, because thrills obviously went away here in Arizona, and would love to hear from any of you guys that are currently in the chat or on the stream. Do you use it, or are you just so limited that it's just not worth your time anymore? Obviously, feel free to share your commentary in the chat on your experience. But thrills does have some egregious errors from time to time, and they're sleeping at the wheel. I would imagine that they're also a very good book to bet live because they're just really slow. Books like Thrills, like Rebet, trying to think who else, like a Sports Zeno. These are books that are small operations, right? These sports books aren't the size of FanDuel and DraftKings. They don't have the employees or the capital like FanDuel and DraftKings. So what these books really rely on is their algorithms, that they set it and then they just forget it, right? What I mean by that is they kind of take a look at the algorithm, everything looks good for today. They don't have enough people to be able to monitor this all at once. So this is where you can, if really it's just you versus their algorithm when you're live betting, and you can really pick them off. College basketball, women's Notre Dame and Michigan. By the way, shout out to West Virginia women's basketball. I was at the bar last night, saw that they played with 5 girls and beat Duke's women's basketball team that was ranked 15th in the country. That's an incredible accomplishment. Shout out to you ladies. So the book that's off in this example here, guys, is Caesars, because you see Caesars being paired with 2 different books. So you want to run over to Caesars and bet this first, and then go back over to DraftKings or ESPN Bet and then bet Michigan on the money line. This is, though, just locked because guess what? Caesars realized that they screwed up. So that happens. You can set the play button here, guys. Obviously, though, you just need 2 books to tango with the strategy. You're hedging your bet. You have the winning side and the losing side, but you're just making your risk-free profit. A lot of great opportunities with college hoops. Obviously, maybe I'm a little biased here with how much there is because Hard Rock just is a easy book to arbitrage with. Delaware State and New Haven, college basketball, a middle opportunity here as well. You know, you're making over a 4% return off your investment. If I remove Hard Rock, obviously that's going to take some plays away, but there's still really solid opportunities across the board. DraftKings, Bookmaker, these are all plays. This is why, guys, November is such a goated month for sports betting. I mean, if you go back to my live streams on like June and July, watch one of those and you'll be like, oh, yeah, it's bleak. Right now, this is popping. So much going on. You know, your opportunities are going to be dependent on what's going on in the sports betting calendar. And today specifically, there's a fuck ton of shit going on the sports betting calendar. We got college and basketball, or basketball for the college and the pros, college football, NHL, UFC, a lot going on. And then we can't forget about the women's, right? We got women's college basketball going on. So this is a day that you sit down and you just plow through a ton of bets because this is one of those days that you can make a lot of money. And I can guarantee you tomorrow when you open up X, you're going to see everybody posting, talking about how they made a ton of cash. There you go. Appreciate that, Irish. Appreciate that, Will. Yeah, can't use it. Or I would say it probably takes, I've known it to take sometimes 2 or 3 minutes. It's a little slow. That's why I don't typically use it on the live streams. I mean, good golly. Also, guys, you know, if you don't have Bookmaker, you could use Prime. If you live in a state like Kentucky, you can just sign up for Prime. Also, I believe Ohio has Prime. They just copy Bookmaker's odds, and you can obviously then go Bet Rivers and Prime right here, Youngstown State, middle opportunity. These by the way, for those of you that are looking to arbitrage, all of these middle opportunities, just so you guys know, like if you see a play here, let's go up to the top here. Let me refresh this page. Okay, so you see this play here on, let's go UCLA, first half team total, Fanatics and ESPN Bet. I understand that probably everyone in here is limited on Fanatics. This is just an example. If you see this play, I would bet this. But anything that shows on the arbitrage tool a middle opportunity, literally dump your entire bankroll as much as you can on these plays that say middle. Focus only on these middle bets because there is a chance, while it's a small chance, there is a chance that you could cash one of these bets. So if you can hit this up with Utah State and Fanatics, any of these middle bets, you want to go after this. Now, there might not be as many, but anything that's above like a 2% return, guys, on these middle plays, definitely worth your time. Definitely worth it. I would slam these compared to your regular ARBs. These regular ARBs are fine, but slam these when it comes to the middle betting. Okay, let's jump over to Plus EV. Speaking of college football, I had some stuff teed up ready to roll. UCF, Texas Tech, over 50.5. If I type in UCF, yeah, this brings up a lot of overs. That's what I was expecting. And by the way, guys, when we're going through these tools, and if you want to try OddsJam 1 week for free and save 35% off your first month after the 1 week trial ends, you can use my code Billy35. I don't receive any financial kickback from it. It just helps with my job security. I did a poor job when I was negotiating my initial job offer from OddsJam. I totally forgot about mentioning, like, hey, use my code, I get a kickback. But it does help with my job security because they do see that, you know, people use the code. So if you haven't tried OddsJam, Try it 1 week for free. You have nothing to lose. Check it out for sure. So when we're looking over here at UCF Texas Tech, there's a lot of different opportunities to bet overs. These are all positive EV. Honestly, we want to go after the easiest leg to hit. We're being recommended to bet the over because Canby Sportsbook, Bet Rivers, Ballybet, they're just so off. So off. So I'm perusing this and looking for the lowest line possible. And the over 47.5 is where I'm going, okay? If it's a 28-20 game, 27-21, I'm going to be very happy I have the over 47.5 compared to the over 49. I'm going to be a sad puppy. So I'm going to go over to Ballybet. Again, if you guys only have Bet Rivers, I understand Ballybet, a lot of people could be limited to like $1 over there. Totally fine then going after the over 49, right? I would rather you bet the over 50 than bet the over 50.5 because if it's 27-23, well then at least this is a push, where here this is going to be a loss, right? I understand no one maybe gets excited about pushing their bet, but I would rather push my bet than lose it all day long. So when you're looking at these different opportunities, make sure to go after the easiest leg possible. If you want to go ham and go nuts and bet all of these overs, then just remember that if this is a 16-13 football game, can you afford to pay your bills tomorrow? Did you just nuke your sports betting bankroll? In my opinion, if you just go ham on all of these overs, that's gambling. That's gambling, right? If you want to go heavy on one of these, if you want to go heavy on the over 47.5 and then sprinkle the over 50 a little bit, that's fine, right? But that's, in my 2 cents, is that's kind of what's what. So let me look at this UCF game. Where's it at? Bingo. All right. This is the main line, too. This is kind of what I like about this with Ballybet. They're telling me to wager $260. I wish I could bet $250 on this, but they won't let me do it. $28. There we go. But I'm in for my $28. If this was the NFL, I could wager more money. But unfortunately, it's not. So we're in for my $28.18. Yeah, Irish, it's always bookmaker. For college sports, it's bookmaker. And it's, where's it at? Can I share the link? Oh, I didn't have it set. That's fine. College BM we do. It's just bookmaker. It's the same on like it is on every stream. Bookmaker and main markets, and it's worst case. Plus minus 200, plus 150. All right, so there's that. Now I could go back over here to Bet Rivers and grab some over 49 because I'm like, man, $28 for my bankroll size right now. Not flexing, just being honest. Is like, dang, I kind of want to get a little bit more on this. So that's what most likely I'm going to do, is try to bet a little bit more on this game. But I also know I'm running the risk of, of that happening. This should be a dandy of a game, in my opinion, UCF, Texas Tech. All right, outside of UCF and Texas Tech, I don't know. I'll throw this in for a 150 spot, and we'll throw this in on Bet Rivers so we can keep this moving. Because if I don't track this now, guys, I am so dumb that I definitely will forget. Definitely will forget. All right, let's see what else we got here. We got Navy, +7. That's sport trade. That's only for Arizona, so we'll move off of that. Under in Tennessee Tech, Kentucky, football. This is all football right now, guys. No basketball at the moment. Little difference of opinion here between Bookmaker and Pinnacle. Who moved? Wow, this is just a Bookmaker just doesn't agree with this. Interesting. Not a ton of money. +6.5. Penn State, Michigan State. Man, I'd rather have the +7. $20K that Pinnacle's taking. And I do have this pulled up. What do we got here? A lot going on. Okay, Bookmaker's here. Pinnacle's chilling. They're right. Or I'm sorry. They're here. Ooh, interesting. This was about an hour ago. They were at minus 116. They dropped down to minus 128, back up to minus 122. Okay. So if Pinnacle's taking 20K, there's only $900 here, guys, in this market. So feel free to grab this. I'm okay with plus 6.5. You're getting at plus odds. At the moment, the main line here is plus 7 on Bookmaker. Yeah, I mean, they're taking 20K as well. So they're both taking 20K. Grab Michigan State. I'm fine with that one. The over on Tulane and Florida Atlantic, there's only $350 here. Pinnacle's taking 3K. Bookmaker's taking probably the same amount, if not more. This is some serious movement from Pinnacle. I'm not going to lie here. And for those of you, I'm sure OGs and DGens might know this, but for those of you that are maybe new to this, the reason that I spend so much time on positive EV compared to arbitrage is really two reasons. Number one, arbitrage betting is a very simple strategy. You're just placing a bet on Team A versus Team B, and you're locking in your profit, right? As long as you get down your process in terms of logging into the books and getting your amounts correct, it's a very straightforward strategy. Positive EV is not always straightforward. And when you're on a tool like OddsJam, it's supposed to be simple because there's all these plays on the board, but that's not always the case. And the more that you kind of get into the positive EV game, the more that you start to realize that there are certain sports books that are just smarter or sharper, more accurate compared to others. It's just like when you were sitting in your classroom and you looked around and you're like, not everyone in this classroom is getting A's. Some of these people are going to get D's. It's the same thing. You maybe shined in like science and math, and maybe you struggled like I did in social studies. So all of these books have different strengths and weaknesses. And sometimes we just also want to look at market movement. So it's not always as straightforward sometimes as like just bet every play on the screen for this amount and you're going to make a boatload of cash. In my belief, there's some different things that you want to take a look at. And we'll look at this Virginia Duke game here in a second. For anyone that isn't completely nuked on ESPN Bet, this looks incredible on Bally Bet. Looks like ESPN might have moved their odds to minus 124. A little different opinion here. Yeah, this is just went to drop to 0.3 percentage. So let's get off that. Let's hide this bet. West Virginia, ASU. Caesars, ESPN. This is almost a low hold to Bookmaker. And you know it's going to be EV. It's actually not as much. Yeah, it's not as much EV as I thought it would, but this looks pretty decent. Though these books just moved, and I do not like to see movement from the rec books. Funny enough, though, Bookmaker moved in the opposite direction, which is, I mean, that's hilarious to me. Pinnacle's just chilling. Bookmaker moved down while the rec books moved up. So I'm going to grab this over, and 47.5 is important. 47 is a good number to be on the over, but I don't mind the over 47.5. So yeah, and obviously I'm very limited on ESPN Bet. But let me see what we got going on here. Okay. Let me get a little deposit going down here on Caesars because I'm going to go hit this play up. But this is a solid play. I like this. All right, so we're going to grab this on Caesars. I'm going to go in for a 150 spot here, and we're going to grab this over on West Virginia ASU. And it looks good right now that I'm in Arizona and I'm betting on ASU. I can tell you that for account health. All right, there we go. What else do we have here? Western Kentucky, Bet 105. I'm always interested in taking a look at Bet 105. Minus 14.5 is I don't like being on the minus 14.5. Not my thing. I might stay away from this one. Just a difference of opinion between two sharp books. Arizona State minus 12.5, $99 on no vig. Go ahead and grab that. UCLA plus 33.5. This looks very good on ESPN Bet against Ohio State. Really the only book that's offering plus odds. To be fair, though, they just moved. And I hate movement from a rec book. Yeah, that's a lot of movement. I'm going to say let's stay away from this one. I don't like that movement at all. For anyone that does have BetDSI, we're looking at Marshall, Georgia State, under 62.5. Pinnacle and Bookmaker agree on this price. If this is actually out there, then go bet it. BetDSI is an offshore book, guys. I've been using them for over 3 years. Not limited over there. They're an awesome book that I love to use. Most of the offshore books outside of my bookie, XBet, Bovada, I can bet on all my personal offshore sportsbook accounts. So definitely a big fan of that. 49ers Faithful, what's going on, man? Yeah, we're looking at some UFC right now, man. Rick said, some reason I can't get any results when I use the EV formula tool. Yeah, Rick, so I mean, it's definitely when it comes to the EV formula, sometimes it's a little slow, for sure. Make sure, like, if we reset this, so let me think of a sport that let me look at right now. Let's look at some NBA player props. Okay, we'll look at that for a second. So if I come over here, you can only have there's a 10 league limit. So make sure you only select. So I come over here to leagues and I just clear out everything. And then let's say I just want to look at the NBA right now. And then I'm going to say, okay, I just want to look at player props for the NBA for today. And then my EV formula, Phil, you can leave these books up if you want to. Normally, though, I don't know if it really matters. But I'm just going to remove these guys over here. Say, okay, I got my 2 books. And we're looking for NBA player props. Now, if you guys, obviously if you have this at 50%, this is only, and this is what I went over in the video too on OddsJam, is that there's only 50%. You're only going to see FanDuel plays. So this is really just like the old school way, right? DVIG settings, we can go worst case. We can go power, right? I'll keep this on power at the moment. It's fine. If you go over to 75% or higher, then we need Pinnacle and Bookmaker. And that's really what I'm looking for. I want to see NBA player prop results that are, within that range. So I don't know. We'll go minus 200. Let's take this to like plus 130. Okay. And so now I need Pinnacle and FanDuel to not only have plays, but to both agree. If you guys use a 3-book system here, I would highly recommend not going to 100% because you might not see any plays. I would say go to 75% where you just need a combination of 2 out of the 3 books to see results. So here we go. I see 2 results right now. Evan Mobley, Jared Allen. I don't set up a minimum EV percentage, guys, because we need multiple books to agree with one another. You're more than likely not going to see a bunch of plays that are above 7% or even above 4%. You're going to see a lot of plays that live in a 1 to maybe 3% range. Understand, though, that because we have additional criteria that needs to be met, I'm more than happy to go after these plays that are, in the lower percentage range because we're seeing both books agree. So the hard part here with the custom EV formula is that if you have plays like this that agree, you're going to receive low recommended bet sizes. But for myself, I'm going to have more confidence in these plays because I have multiple books agreeing with one another. So hopefully you guys can understand that conundrum. Because, and I'll say this once more, because we have multiple books agreeing with one another, our EV percentage is low. So our bet recommendation off of Kelly is low. This is, again, where the software of OddsJam, in my opinion, only is looking at, well, what is the fair value? What's these 2 books agree upon? Here's your recommended bet size based off of this edge. But in my opinion, because we have 2 sharp books agreeing on player props, I want to go and then bet even more money on these player props because I'm getting agreement from multiple books. No problem, Rick. That's what it's all about, man. Listen, if you 49ers Irish can, that's becoming a premium member of the channel, guys, with these live streams. When Rick asks questions like that, and he's like, hey, man, can you go over the tool? That's what you guys get. You get your questions answered for you right here. That's what you pay for. So, again, guys, if you go on my YouTube homepage, you go under memberships from $1.99 a month to $4.99 a month. That's kind of what you get. When you have questions and you want to get them answered, that's what you get with this. So Bookmaker, Bookmaker's one book that I don't always like to bet into, but they're telling us, Bookmaker no vig, like this is something that you want to go after, right? So then I would say, all right, well, like Pinnacle and FanDuel were chilling here. Bookmaker did move, though, and they moved about 45 minutes ago. So this is a play like I don't like betting because of line movement, right? So, but, this could be something maybe we could go after. Luka over on assists. Obviously, it's never a bad idea to take Luka over on his assists. But these are some lower edge plays, and this looks to be maybe this is it, right? So if you come back over to this EV formula and maybe where you want to look at just some main market plays, right? We talked about this before where some of my favorite things to look for is I'll take like a Circa, or let's do this instead. If we go and let's look at some UFC, right? If I want to look at some UFC main lines, okay? The problem here is if I grab Circa Vegas, Circa Sports, all the same, guys. Pinnacle, Circa, Bet Online, okay? And I'm like, let's go with give me a 2 for this, and then I want this being like a 4 for Bet Online. So for my UFC value, I really lean heavily on Bet Online. And let's just clear out the odds. And then let's come down here. And where's MMA at? Bingo. Cool. And we're going to look for some main market plays, and we'll look for alternate markets. We'll just have everything selected at the moment. And then this is pretty much it, right? I'm just going to say, all right, is there anything that these books agree on? Typically, when I go through UFC, guys, there isn't. And that's going to be the other case here. Is there's going to be some sports where the old school way of leaning on one book is going to be sometimes the way, or you're going to see more opportunities, right? So the custom EV formula is great. It whittles down your plays. But if you want to go back to the old school way of just picking one book and then just manually looking through plays, obviously, I'm a little biased towards that as well. But yeah, sometimes you're going to be sitting here and you're going to think to yourself, okay, is there not any plays popping up, or is like the tool broken? And my estimation is that there's just not any EV plays popping up. Now remember, on this custom EV formula, I need Circa Bet Online to agree or Pinnacle and Bet Online to agree. If I come down and go through the old school way where I just want to see one of these, then there should be some plays that pop up immediately. But this is probably the biggest reason. While this is a great addition to the software, it does take some time. And on a live stream like this, keeping everyone kind of intrigued in what's going on, I can't afford to waste this time. So that's the only reason, guys, why I don't show it on the tool, or show it on the stream, I should say. It's not because I don't like it. It's not because I don't believe in it. It's just too slow. Just that's the biggest reason right now for myself. So if we come back over here and I just reset this formula and I say, let's go back and look at the old school way. Let's look at some Bet Online. Let's see what we got cooking here. Okay, so looking at some UFC. Leon Edwards. He is plus EV right now over on Bet Openly. But otherwise, because it's 157. It's not quite a low hold yet to Bet Online. Bet Online is the least bullish, it seems to be, out of all the sports books on Prates, or however you say Carlos's name. We'll just call him Carlos. And so this is only $31 they're out there on Bet Openly. I would go grab that. Mariscal, plus 105. Yeah, I mean, this is an agreement between Pinnacle and Bet Online. Again, guys, if you're betting UFC, if you guys don't know, Bet Online is my GOAT as my sharp book, more so than Pinnacle. And so when we're looking at these plays, you can set up an account with Bet Online. You do. Also, guys, sportsbetting.ag would be another one. But Bet Online would be one that you can just create an account. You don't have to make a deposit. And then all I'm going to do is just come over here and say, all right, well, let's take a look at UFC. What do we have cooking? So I'm looking at, now I already forgot which one it was. It's 322, right? Yeah, so for 322, and I'm looking at these different ones, we're looking at what? Saba. Yeah, here it is. Okay, so Bet Online right now is taking on Mariscal. They're taking a max wager of $22,000. All right, so for those of you, I love showing this. I try to keep it real with you guys and transparent. You see this limit from Pinnacle, and you're like, wow, Pinnacle's really sharp. All right, when I come over here to Bet Online and I pull up this play, obviously, I don't have 22 grand. You could see for the money line here, they're taking $22,000. And this is my personal account that I've been using for 4 years with BetOnline. So they're taking, what, almost 6 times, almost 4 times the amount of money that Pinnacle is. So I have a lot more confidence in this line from BetOnline than I do Pinnacle. And they just moved. So I'm all in on betting this Mariscal play at plus 105. That's a really good play. Fight to go the distance. Can we get this anywhere else but Circa? Hard Rock, but it's barely an edge. So not really. Sean Brady, not really. So I like that bet there. The under 2.5 on Bo Nickel. No vig. Yeah, I'm fine with that. If you can get this at plus 145, go grab that. Circa's a sharp book, guys. I just don't think they're as sharp as BetOnline when it comes to this. Here we go. Here's one that I can maybe grab on FanDuel. So we're looking at Jack Della. Let's see. Oh, yeah, like this. Nice little movement here. Then Pinnacle followed. So look who moved first. Look which sharp sportsbook moved first. BetOnline moved. Then look who moved after BetOnline. Pinnacle. So BetOnline moved over here, and then Pinnacle, the purple line, moved after BetOnline moved. So that's why they're my GOAT. That's why I use them for that. And if you guys can appreciate any of these tips and insights that I'm sharing with you for free, please smash that subscribe button. It helps me out a lot. Send it to a friend. For any of you guys that struggle sports betting, if you've lost thousands of dollars to FanDuel this year, we can definitely get you on the right track to showing you how to make money. Streaming is one way. Watching the live streams. If you want to sign up for my coaching, sit down, have a call with me for 30 minutes. We can do that as well. So I'm going to come over here to FanDuel. And because of this movement, I just really like this. I like it a lot in terms of what we have going on. There we go. And we're looking at what? Is it the over or the under? We're looking at the over 3.5 rounds. Okay. So round props, is that it? Total rounds over 3.5. Bingo. What's the max wager size? $480. That's a solid wager size. OddsJam's telling me to bet 100. I'm going to go up to 200 here. And there we go. We're over on the 3.5 on this play. Betting a little bit more just because I really like that line movement from BetOnline. There we go. What's going on, Trent? Trent, good to know about that. Trent, if you live in a state that also has Prime also copies Bookmaker. So they're the same exact thing. So for any of you guys that live, because I know Prime is available in like Kentucky, and they are available in, and I understand maybe Trent, if you don't live in that state, but if for any of you guys that have access to Prime, they copy Bookmaker's odds. So they're another really sharp book. But I appreciate you sharing that with me, man. It definitely breaks my heart to know that you can't, in the state that maybe is outlawed Bookmaker, you can't do so. One thing that I would mention, Trent, is if you are traveling down the road, when you go and cross a different state, see if you can set up an account with Bookmaker. Just create an account. And then when you go back to your home state, see if you can then still access the website. Because that's a little trick that you can sometimes use with some of these offshore books. Is you might not be able to create the account based on your location, but you might be able to create the account based on a different location and then still be able to access the website once you have the account set up. I definitely shared too much information for free there on that one. But, Trent, you're a channel supporter, man. I appreciate you. It's something that you guys can do. Let's see. OddsJam plus EV. All right. So obviously this is going to change throughout the day, guys. I don't think I have any bet openly money because I would love to bet this right now. That's one thing I forgot to check. And then we're going to get back into this and look at maybe some We'll look at some anytime goal scores for hockey. Yeah, I don't have anything in there right now. That sucks. Okay. Let's look at some anytime goal scores for hockey. Let's pull this up next. Let's clear this all out. A lot of good stuff to get into. And let's take a look. Kevin Fiala, Brad Marchand, Rope Hintz. All FanDuel plays. All a hell to the... And yeah, we're going to bet these boys. Okay. So let's take a look here. Fiala looks very good. Over 5% edge. He plays for the Kings. Kings and the Senators. This isn't until 7 o'clock. Anytime goal score. Plus 190 odds. It's now plus 190. So still 3.5%. Still good. They're telling me to bet 115. I'm going to bet 125 instead. Share this link with you guys if you want it. There we go. There's one. Let's refresh this again. Marchand. Been betting on him a few different times this year. Bet on him a couple days ago. My Dub Club users know. Panthers scored 6 goals, but Marchand didn't happen to score any of them. It's the first game today, Tampa and Florida. There, let me bet a little bit more if I want to. I'll go up to a 150 spot on Marchand. All right, I'll share this link with you guys as well. So if you guys want to just copy any of these links right here, you could bet it right there on FanDuel. Just speeds up the process a little bit. Try to help you guys out. Don't really need to think too much about these plays, guys. Anything that's over 3%, I'm just betting. It's a very simple process. Call it dumb luck, but to be able to make over $3,000 since the start of hockey season solely betting on NHL anytime goal scores, I would like to say there's definitely something here. Stars Flyers, this is one of the late games. Rope Hintz. They're telling me to bet $80. I'll just go up to 100. That's fine. There we go. So there's the links, guys. We're in on all 3 of these dudes. Just kind of rip through them really quick. Don't really need to overthink it. Just go, go, go. Leon's not bad. Leon's a little low normally for me, but Leon's also one of the best goal scorers in the entire league. I'm okay with a little sprinkle on Leon. Normally I don't go below 2%, but Leon's fine because the guy lights the lamp so often. And I would like to bet a little bit above this, so I'll go up to $100 because it's Leon. And there we go. No problem, Anton. No problem. Not going after Leo Carlson. Though Leo, I love you, Leo. You're my second best friend behind Mr. Geeky. Pretty simple, guys. There really isn't any deep diving analysis when it comes to this part for me. If it's over 3%, I've had a strong track record the whole season. I've had strong track records prior seasons. It's get in there, rip it, and get out. It's don't need to really deep dive this too much. Just get going. So let's move on. I want to just take a sneak peek. Is there anything for any ATDs? Couple ATDs, guys, for any of you guys for tomorrow. Couple guys out there. Kamani Vidal, Aaron Jones, RJ Harvey. I like the RJ Harvey play, even though Kansas City has a tough D. Don't know how I feel about Zonovan Knight. Devontae. Okay. Just a couple plays. Just want to give you guys a quick peruse for any NFL anytime touchdown scores for tomorrow. We'll be back on tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific. Doing this again for NFL. Let's get into some college hoops. DVIG settings. It's bookmaker. Actually, we can just come over to my save filters. I forgot about that. College. Let's take a look. What do we got? Bookmakers, the sharp. It's always worst case. Always worst case. NCAAB, we talked about Tennessee Tech and Kentucky. Where's some basketball? Okay, so on game day, guys, I feel that Bookmaker is just a sharper book because they take more money than Pinnacle. Again, this is all about all of these settings with picking the sports books. It's all about money. Who's taking the most amount, right? So the example I love to give is if I got one person that wants to bet me $1 on the over on North Dakota, and I got another guy that wants to bet $10,000 on the over on North Dakota, who do you think has more confidence in their pick? The guy that wants to bet $1 or the guy that wants to bet $10,000? It's the same thing with these sports books. Whoever is accepting more money for these plays has more confidence in their line, in their odds. Otherwise, they wouldn't be accepting as much as they are. Bookmaker typically on game day accepts way more money than Pinnacle does for college sports, football and basketball. So just like in the example with BetOnline, why do I use BetOnline for UFC? Because on that one money line play, they were accepting $22,000. Pinnacle's accepting $6,000. It's pretty simple. I'm all about trying to simplify sports betting as much as humanly possible because you can really get tangled up in the weeds very quickly with some things. And so which sharp book is taking the most amount of money on plays? That's who I'm going to use as my sharp sports book. And then let's see if we can find any line movement or if we can find some massive discrepancies. That's it. Appreciate you, Daniel. Appreciate that, man. ATM, good to hear that for you, man. Hopefully you're a little lighter on your feet, bro. So we're kind of looking mostly for basketball. So the only thing I'll do here right now, because we gave football a little shine. Let's go just to hoops. All right, so Sports Zeno, guys, again, I would recommend, I mean, you don't need to. For me, like obviously I do have a Sports Zeno account again, which is great. But I just sometimes open these up to see if like there's any other sports book that's close to Sports Zeno. Because sometimes, most times there isn't. Here, this would be one. No, maybe not. Sorry, Dayton, not really. No one has plus odds. So I just try to rip through these. $53 here on Youngstown State St. Bonaventure, guys. Too low liquidity. Just go ahead and bet that on ProfitX. We don't need really to deep dive it too much. You have different options here with North Dakota UC Riverside, as we talked about before. I would be interested the most in the over 147 because any of these other ones you could lose. So betting this would be a push. If they score 147 exactly, at least then you didn't lose these overs. You just pushed it. Weber State against UC Irvine. These are smaller schools. So Pinnacle's taking $3K. So again, let's go over to, I got way too many screens open up right now. Way too many. Okay. So even though this gets me in trouble or could get me in trouble on YouTube, because they don't like when I showcase offshore books, and I did that with BetOnline, and I'm going to do it with Bookmaker. For those of you that are new, that are like, just, when I talk about liquidity and I really drive this point home, Pinnacle's taking $3,000 on this play. Two smaller schools. Here we go. We're looking at Weber State plus 11.5. Okay. Okay. So here's what we do. When you're over here on Bookmaker, like, wow, that's nice. Pinnacle's taking $3K. When we come over here on Bookmaker, you can see that there's different spreads. You guys can expand this, or you can just click into this play, and then right here, there's this little drop down. They got it at what? Is it plus 11.5? Plus 11.5. You can see that Bookmaker's taking almost $13,000. Who gives a shit that Pinnacle's taking $3K? This book's taking $13,000. So this is the reason why this is my sharp book. And no offense to anyone that went to school here. These aren't exactly the Dukes and the Kentuckys of the world, Weber State and Cal Irvine, right? But the book that's taking more money, they have more confidence in their line. So that's why I use Bookmaker as my sharp. So, Pinnacle's not far off here on this. They're at minus 129. So this is even more confidence right now. I don't know what Circa's taking because I'm not in Vegas right now, but I'd go bet this over at ESPN Bet plus 11.5 all day long. They're taking way more money. So this is why, you want to make sure that you start to utilize different offshore books, guys, as your sharps. This is where really coming in here in the DVIG settings and seeing all these, don't just rely solely on Pinnacle, because it took me a long time to learn that they might not always be the sharpest for every single sport. That was just foolish of me to think that. So that's why we use other books. What else we got here? UC River. Okay. All these plays here, guys, on ProfitX, even this play maybe on, I don't know about the George Mason play. Let's see what the limits are. Yeah, it might be a little too much here. This play on Texas, this play on Hawaii, this play on UTSA, I'm fine with you betting all these. These are all low liquidity plays, right? A lot of people, obviously we talk about ProfitX and Novig having a lot of professional sharp sports bettors out there, like you got to be careful. I'm totally okay with betting. There's only $142 here, so I'm totally okay with grabbing this. Southeast Missouri State against St. Thomas. Again, these are small schools. So, but if you want to grab them +3 on Caesars, this looks to be very, very good. This is 24 cents off, 21 cents off. I'm totally fine if you want to bet this. If you want to stick to the Power 5 conferences for college hoops, no problem at all. Naturally, there's going to be more money wagered in those markets. So if you do find a play that has an edge, like Nebraska, -1 against Oklahoma, I would have a little bit more confidence in this play, right? A little bit more. Some of these smaller schools with college basketball, no offense to anyone that went to New Haven or Delaware State, not a lot of popularity here, right? Pinnacle's only taking $500. I got to imagine the bookmakers maybe taking $1,000. It's not like bookmakers taking $10K on this play. These are low liquidity plays because these are just not very popular schools. So something that you want to keep in mind when you're betting college basketball, the Stony Brooks, the George Masons, right? The Wyomings of the world, they're not really all that big of schools, so there's not a lot of interest and not a lot of money on those games. But when you start talking about the Arizonas or the Kansas or the Dukes or the North Carolinas, yeah, now we're talking like these are being bet like the NFL and the NBA. There's a lot of money at risk. Not as much, but there's still solid liquidity. Yeah, Irish, I hope you lose. I'm pulling for the Panthers. So you and I will have a nice little friendly rivalry today. Best of luck to you. But I'm not expecting much. I'm not expecting great things from Pitt, but we'll see. DFS Cam, yeah, we went through DFS earlier, man. We spent the first 20 minutes or so of the stream on it. I'm going to basically be wrapping it up because my lungs are out of breath. But back on tomorrow for a little bit more. So for PrizePicks, 3-pick entries. We'll just quickly try to go through this for those of you that are maybe tuning in a little late. Or obviously, we do spend a lot of time on positive EV. I try to spend a solid amount of time early in the streams on DFS. And then a little arbitrage. The reason that I don't spend a ton of time arbitrage betting, guys, is because I don't think you really need much of my guidance when it comes to arbitrage. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward, right? Fantasy scores, by the way, I hate fantasy scores, so I'm not really interested in betting those. Cam, can I do some more? Not today, brother, just because I'm tanked. I'm gassed. But we can definitely do some for tomorrow. Normally, guys, you have me for about an hour. God bless the people that can go and stream for 2 hours. I don't have that kind of oxygen in me. But, I'm just trying my best just to make sure to show you some more plays if you haven't been able to see it. Or if you kind of tuned in a little bit later to make sure that we can kind of show some more. Appreciate that, Top Daily. Hopefully you're having a great day. And I hope all you guys, I hope today is one of the greatest days of your guys' life when it comes to sports betting. There is nothing better than having a massive day and winning a bunch of money watching sports. So I really hope today is one of your guys' best days when it comes to betting on it. So Underdog, I don't really like any of these on Underdog. These all suck because there's no FanDuel, there's no Pinnacle. It's just a little too early for NBA player props for a lot of this. So I don't really like this. Not much I can really say here. Good to hear that, Top Daily. That's very helpful, man. Yeah, Sports Zeno, I'd definitely say, especially with like Sports Zeno, I mean, that would be a great strategy, right? Is if you have a somewhat healthy Sports Zeno account and you can wait until 2 hours before game time, we know that Sports Zeno is like a joke of a sports book. It's really easy to beat. So if you can save that account until like an hour or two before game time, that's where you can really maximize your earning potential and earning power on an account like that. Don't really bet college props, so Jam Miller, don't really care about that one. RJ Barrett, yeah, I like RJ Barrett. That's good. We talked about Herbert. I like that play from before. And then Ben Shepherd looks good to Pinnacle, so I would go with that one over on Better. But guys, that's where I'm going to wrap it up. But I will be back here tomorrow, same time, same place, trying to make sure that, I satisfy everyone in terms of positive EV, arbitrage, and DFS. Try to keep a good mix, guys. Appreciate the input. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Have an awesome Saturday, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Take care.